How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be explaining the best hitting tips in MLB The Show 23, how to warm up, how to practice, and how to hit more perfects in online gameplay. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The first thing I'm going to talk about are my gameplay settings. I like to use the strike zone camera for both hitting and pitching. Gives you that real close-up view, which can also help you get the timing down even while you're pitching. In terms of hitting settings, I like to use zone hitting along with pinpoint pitching, and I probably will not be using the bat PCI. I personally like to use the Diamonds Starfighter and Basic setup with 60% transparency and the cyan color. I really like the light blue color in this game. For pitching, I do like to include the pitch trail with the pinpoint to allow myself to know exactly where the ball should end up going if it were to be a perfect pitch within the range. And then now we're going to get into some custom practice. So they have added a couple of features into custom practice this year. I'm pretty excited to show you this as well. I do have the game early. That is why I am posting it right when the game is launched for everyone. I have a chance to look at these legend rosters, even though they revealed a lot of these legends over on the Twitch live stream a little bit earlier. I wanted to check out these legends, and I like to practice with these types of guys anyway. It gives me a good chance to try out some of the brand new cards, see how their swing plays, and I really want to go up against Satchel Paige or at least test out a few of these brand new players. For the sake of this video, I did want to go through some of the attributes. These are not Diamond Dynasty players. These are just the Groundbreakers and the Beasts and Boomers rosters. But they did reveal some of these cards during the live stream with their Diamond Dynasty overall and attributes. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yes, you cannot see these rosters in custom practice. So I'm actually in an exhibition game mode right now just to show you this. But you can go into custom practice, and I'll do it here in a second. But these guys, yeah, a lot of legends. But we want to get into the hitting tips. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at this long ball beast team. I noticed that this Boomers and Groundbreakers team is much different. The Groundbreakers usually had the older legends, and now they have the Negro League legends mixed with some of, I would say, like the 1930s, 1940s players, which is pretty cool. This long ball beast legend lineup is pretty solid. But as far as hitting tips go this year, obviously I have yet to play MLB The Show 23 other than this custom practice mode. I did play the tech test, and the gameplay, the way the game feels seems a lot better, and it seems like there have been some minor tweaks to the hitting engine, to the pitching engine within MLB The Show 23. Each player's swing feels a little bit more fluid, and I don't know if you played previous year's games, but each player would almost have a unique timing window depending on their stride animation, their load animation. I've talked about these types of things before in hitting tips videos. I've also made a video entirely breaking down the PCI penalty, and I didn't really notice the PCI penalty as much, and I don't think we will this year because of the active quirks on both legends and current players. I think the fact that all players have active quirks is a huge W for the game, and I think it will be a game changer completely. Another game changer is a brand new feature that I'm showing you right here. It's the ability to adjust the pitch frequency, pitch location, as well as pick your practice type. Right? You could obviously be the pitcher in this situation, then you'd be free to throw the ball wherever you want. And if you're the hitter, you can kind of control where the pitcher is going to throw you and the exact types of pitches you want to see. You can kind of take down that tendency completely. Another new thing that I notice is the fact that there is not a confidence meter in practice mode. And in years past, I would kind of just take pitches until I would allow the pitcher's confidence all the way up on individual pitches as well as just overall confidence. That would allow more break on some of these pitches. I think maybe because of the quirks they've added, like the outlier or breaking outlier quirk or something like that, where over the course of the game the break for a certain pitch stays the same. But anyway, I'm still using that same type of strategy where I go in, I'm taking pitches, I'm trying to get used to my timing and moving around the PCI, trying to track pitches without actually swinging. I'm trying to mentally get the timing down in my head so that way when I'm ready to swing, I kind of just react to where I see the pitch and where I think it's going to end up, and I try to move the PCI very fluidly to the baseball, just because of in previous years of that PCI penalty. Basically, what the PCI penalty would be is if my barrel of my bat is not swinging exactly where the PCI is lined up, and I haven't noticed that as much this year or at all this year throughout the tech test, throughout playing in this custom practice. So that's just one thing I like to do, and I do like to set my PCI anchor in the top left, sometimes in the top middle of the strike zone, and try and react from there. If you notice, as the pitcher is kind of breaking their hands, right, pulling the ball out of his glove before he's about to throw it, I try to move the PCI down into the left part of the strike zone. Whether I'm using a lefty or a righty, I just feel comfortable moving the stick in that way. That's something I've done for many, many years. It's not something I would recommend unless you're an experienced player. But essentially what my thought process is there is if I can take away a fastball on the inside half or up and inside or over the middle of the plate, high in the strike zone, then I can usually get to another pitch from that specific location. So if I'm sitting up and in, which I do sometimes, then I can try to react to a pitch low and away. Or if I'm sitting down and in, I can try to react to a pitch up and away, depending on my reaction time, depending on how quickly I read the pitch and move the PCI with my hand-eye coordination to the baseball. But with that being said, I did also notice that Babe Ruth is in there as a two-way player, so I wanted to track some pitches against him. Didn't seem like he had the best control, so I wanted to switch up the teams as well. Figured I would try out Lou Gehrig and some of these groundbreaking cards. Some of the older legends that we've had, we will get a chance to see some of these cards right when the game is launched. Lou Gehrig is a World Series reward. Willie Mays is a team captain for live series cards. So some of the questions I had were also answered with making this video, which is pretty cool. But ultimately, I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things, literally trying to get my timing down for when the game is released, well, which is right now, according to when I'm posting this video. So I'm going to get into my pre-order packs. I'm going to go ahead and post those here in a little bit, as well as get into those Negro League moments and missions, trying to unlock some no money spent diamond cards and try to build my team up for ranked seasons, because this is a really good way to practice if you're trying to get down the new pitching settings, or if you're trying to get down the new fielding meter. That's a good way to do it. Another thing I recognized is that you're not able to use knuckleballers in player versus player this year, which is pretty cool. Always good to confirm that early on. Not that we had to face them last year, but it is just nice to know that. Until next time, I'm College Lefty, and that's going to do it for my hitting tips. Hopefully you hit a lot of home runs and a lot of perfects this year. Until next time, peace out.